In this modern world, we don't always think about origins, but everything has to start somewhere. The Prince and the Partridge by Terry Pratchett. Read by Karl. Once upon a time, that's always a good start, there was a young prince who was ruler of the land of the sun. It was a pleasant country of long days and blue skies, and most things in it were either yellow or gold. The cottages were built of sandstone with golden tiles, daffodils and buttercup grew in fields of ripe corn. Gold was so plentiful under the land, that the streets were actually paved with it. Now to the west of this land was a huge range of mountains, where the prince, did I say his name was Alfred? Well, it was, had a hunting lodge. One day when he was out hunting deer with his knights, his horse bolted. It carried him away through the thick pine forests. The sound of the hunt disappeared in the distance, while the prince leaned on the reins and tried to calm his mount. By the time he'd done this, he was in an unknown part of the mountains, on the edge of a wide clearing. He found out what was wrong with his horse. A sharp burr had got under the saddle girth. But while still adjusting it, a deer burst into the center of the glade. It was the first one he had been hunting. Before he could reach for his bow, and a silver arrow hissed out of the trees and killed the creature. Oi, oi, he thought. Poachers in my mountains. Out of the trees rode a host of knights in silver armor, riding white horses. At their head rose a princess clad in silver cloth. She had white hair, and I dare say I hardly have to tell you that Alfred thought she was the dearest, prettiest, fairest, etc. princess he'd ever clapped eyes on, even though her long white hair was whiter than his granny's. Her knights took the deer and rode away, and of course Alfred followed. He soon realized he was going down the other side of the mountain. The sun was setting. This is what he saw. Over the line on the other side of the mountains, a big silver moon was riding. The whole land shone like silver. Silver flowers grew in the grass, and in the distance the princess was riding. Where is this place? The prince wondered out loud. In the tree above, someone coughed. It's the land of the moon, of course. The prince looked up and saw he was under an old wild pear tree, with gnarled boughs and wizened fruit, and hardly any leaves to speak of. On the lowest branch sat a large, fat, ugly brown bird with big eyebrows. What sort of bird is it that speaks? Said Alfred. Me. I'm the partridge. The partridge, I should say, in a pear tree. And you're Prince Alfred. The girl was Princess Selina, but if you want to marry her, you have to woo her. Chocolates and flowers and so on. It looks as if she could have anything she wants, pointed out Alfred. Please yourself, said the partridge. I'm only here to help, I'm sure. All I'll say is she has promised to marry the man that gives her a Christmas present that dances, leaps, plays tunes, makes a beat, carries pails, hisses, swims, lays eggs, can be worn on one hand, sings, cackles, coos, waggles his eyebrows, and is good to eat. All at once, let me add. What for? Asked Prince Alfred. Her father, king of the land of the moon, said the only man who could think of that right kind of present was worthy to marry his daughter. He's got no sons, you see, so whoever is her husband will become king of that land in time. Asked the partridge. A parrot? Said the prince thoughtfully. That might be all right. The emperor of the Rainbow Land tried that, said the partridge. It didn't work. So the prince said goodbye to the wise old partridge in his pear tree and went back home deep in thought. He called all the palace wizards, wise men and deep thinkers together, and asked them what dances, leaps, plays tunes, makes a beat, carries pails, hisses, swims, lays eggs, can be worn in one hand, sings, cackles, coos, waggles his eyebrows, and is good to eat. Come on, work it out, or you get no Christmas bonus. It's a riddle, said one of them, but think as they might, they couldn't find the answer. So the prince organized a great competition with a gold cup as a prize for anyone who could guess the answer. But although the hall of the castle was filled to overflowing with postmen sorting out the replies, and people queuing up in hopes of winning the cup, no one thought of anything like the right answer. The prince sat on his gold throne and sighed. Right at the end of the queue was the partridge, walking since he was far too fat to fly. What are you doing here? Gasped Prince Alfred. I've come for the prize, said the partridge. You mean you knew all the time? You didn't ask me, did you? But I don't want the cup. What I want costs nothing. It's as light as air, and I shan't tell you what it is. Not yet, anyway. What is the present I am to give the princess, then? Asked Prince Alfred. Patience, patience, said the partridge. I want to have a meeting with some of your subjects first. Kindly call for the royal swan keeper, the guardian of the crown jewels, the master of the royal music, the highest lord in the land, the chief lady in waiting, and about 4 farmers. I'll need them all to make the present. Then I want you to go and visit the princess and her father and bring them to my pear tree in the mountains. This the prince did, to wonder what the partridge had in store. He went to the lands on the moon and brought the king and the princess and hosted their knights to the tree. What sort of present is this? Said the king. The pears are good to eat, maybe, but nothing else. They don't sing. Wait a moment, said the prince, gazing anxiously down the road. I'm not waiting here all day, said the king angrily. What present you got for my daughter will be off. Wait a minute, father, hissed Princess Lena. There's someone coming. Prince Alfred looked down the road of the approaching cloud of dust and went on a whoop of joy. A very odd crowd can now be seen. In the lead was a small boy called Bert, the son of the royal swan-keeper, carrying 3 enormous cases. One contained 2 sulky turtle doves, the next 3 French hens, and the biggest, which kept bumping against his knees, had 4 little green birds. On Bert's head sat the partridge, holding a tightly to his hair and shouting instructions to the others. His voice was rather muffled. He was also trying to hold 5 large gold rings in his beak. After Bert came the royal swan-keeper himself, herding 7 hissing swans and 6 waddling geese, but kept getting along under the feet of the 8 milkmaids who were following behind. After them came a big drum, bowling along with his drummer galloping after it, and the other 8 drummers hotly in pursuit, closely followed by 10 pipers who played as they ran. 11 lords came leaping after them, robes flying, and bringing up the rear was a carriage holding 12 ladies in waiting. Now you all know what to do, said the partridge when they reached the old pear tree. The pears rang down as everyone scrambled up on the branches, trudging on fingers and cracking branches. Quick, quick, said the partridge. Are we all ready? Now tell the princess what her present is. 12 ladies dancing, said the ladies on the lowest branch. 11 lords a-leaping, sang the lords, rocketing up and down through the tree. Creak, rattle. 10 pipers piping. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sung the pipers and went into a spirited rendering of the tune. 9 drummers drumming. Thud, boom. 8 maids milking. Hiss, hiss, went the 7 swans who couldn't swim on their branch and were angry about it. Honk, honk, went the 6 geese a-laying. Ring, ding, sang the 5 golden rings in the wind. Call, chirp, sang the 4 calling birds. Le cackle, cracked the 3 French hens. Coo, coo, sang the 2 turtle doves. There was a breathless pause, and they were stared up at the partridge. He made sure they were all watching, then ruffled his feathers, stretched out his wings, and with a voice like sandpaper sang, "And a partridge in a pear." His neck stretched, and his face went red as he took a deep breath. Tree. The silence that followed was broken by the laughter of the king, who sat on his horse with tears running down his face. "It's the funniest thing I've seen in years," he said, "and it does everything it should do. Marry my daughter by all means." "I think it's a lovely present," said the princess. "Cough, cough," said the partridge tactfully from the position on the topmost branch. "My reward is I want to sing a song of it all about all this at your wedding." "Yes," said the prince, "you must all come." So on the 12th day of Christmas, as it happened, they had a great wedding in a large tent erected over the old pear tree in the mountains, and the partridge sang his song and was made prime minister on the spot by the prince. Several of the smaller pipers ate too much and had to be sent home in wheelbarrows, but the prince gave everyone medals and they were all very happy. The end.